Alright, so we're going to start by drawing the initial sketch of the jellyfish. And to do this, we'll be using a white colored pencil. And the reason is that this pencil shows up well on our black illustration board. So we'll begin by sketching the left hand jellyfish. And what I'll do is I'll draw a oval for the opening of the body of the fish. It's a somewhat long oval. Next, I'll draw the dome of the body of the jellyfish. I'll draw a simple arc up from one side to the other. Now what we'll do is we'll draw just a few of the strands of the tail of the fish. So we'll go in and just add in these nice curved and long flowing tentacles. So now we can start drawing the second jellyfish in the same manner that we drew the first one. We'll make this oval opening a little bit less wide. We'll then draw the dome of the body again from one side of the oval to the other. And we'll finish off by adding in the tentacles. And we want them to go in crossing the tentacles of the first jellyfish so that they go in opposite directions. One thing to note is that we don't want them to all end in a cluster. We want them to separate a little bit and be free flowing. We will start adding our first layer of POSCA marker using a yellow marker, extra fine point. So I will start my first layer by going around the outer edge of the dome of the jellyfish. Next, I will start adding in some curved lines, thinking about how they will curve around the dome of the creature. On the left side, they will curve towards the left, and on the right half of the dome, they will curve towards the right. And we don't want to color this all the way in solid, but instead have a bunch of lines that reach down and get a bit sparser, more less thick as we go down towards the edge of the dome. Alright, so there you can see what we want. And now I will repeat this process on the second right-hand side jellyfish, going around the outer edge of the dome, and then I will start adding in the lines from the bottom to the top. In the same manner as the first jellyfish, these lines arch towards the left on the left hand or upper side of the jellyfish, and on the lower or right hand side, they arch towards the right. Next, what we will do is we will color in the ring of the dome, or in other words, around the opening of the body of the jellyfish. We're just coloring in that ring to make it nice and yellow. And I will do this for the second jellyfish as well. Now we will use a yellow marker to go back and add a second layer to the dome of the jellyfish. What this does is it brightens up the yellow even more and makes it more bright and vibrant. I'm going to keep this second layer of yellow to the upper parts of the domes and add just a bit to the lower part, in particular to the opening of the jellyfish. I will repeat this process on the right hand jellyfish as well. Next, I will go on the inside of the dome. What we would be seeing the opposite side of the jellyfish's body. And I will add a thin layer of lines going down towards the lower part of the body. We don't want to add too much, just enough so that there's a bit of color there. Next, we will go in with a red Posca marker, and we will start adding in a bit to the inside or central part of the dome. So what I want you to do is keep adding lines, try to have them flow as if they were coming from the top of the dome and going down towards the bottom. We're going to keep the outer part of the dome yellow and not add any red there, as you can see I've done, and it keeps that appearance of glowing that we want the jellyfish to have. We will now repeat this process for the right hand jellyfish, going in, adding in our sparse red lines. I will add in a bit more to that central part of the jellyfish dome, just to have some nice bright red in there. And also I'll go on in the inside of the jellyfish opening and add a bit there on both of them. In this section, we will start with a pink Posca marker, and what we will do is add more color to the central part of the dome, similar to how we did with the red. We will do this for both jellyfish, and we will also add these colors into the inside of the jellyfish body. Now that the pink is dry, we're going to go in with a light blue Posca marker and mix in some of this color amongst the pink. We don't want to completely cover the pink. We just want to add enough so that there's a bit of this color blended in and combined with the pink. And we will do this to the dome, a bit on the inside, also in the inner body, and also on the other jellyfish as well. And now we will use a light green Posca marker and add in a layer of this over the blue, pink, red, and yellow. We will add this light green in the same manner that we added the blue and pink, just adding a little bit amongst those colors. At this point, we will come in with an orange Posca marker and we will add this color in. Following what we did with the previous several colors, we will add this orange in the same manner. Now that the orange has had time to dry, we will come in with a black Posca marker, and we're only going to go in on the inner part of the dome. In other words, on the inner part of the body opening, the oval of the body cavity, and we will add in a bit of black just to tone down some of these colors and give it a bit of depth, a bit of shadow. And we will do this for both of the jellyfish. Now, using a yellow Posca marker, we will come in and brighten up the yellow along this leading edge where I'm marking now, adding some lines along the outer part of the dome, like I said, along the leading edge of the oval right in here. And I will also add in a few little lines that just go up ever so much on this lower leading edge of the oval. And now what you'll see me do is just picking at this piece, adding in yellow here, adding it in there, and just gradually building back some of my yellow and adding it in various places. So that's what I encourage you and want you to do, is just keep working with your piece, studying it, thinking about what you can add, where there needs to be some more yellow. Maybe you don't need to add anymore, maybe it's okay as it is, but just play around with it until you get the appropriate amount of color. Alright, now we are going to make the jellyfish glow, and we're going to do this by using a white Posca marker. We're going to do this by adding in white lines and a bit of white along the outer part of the dome, going around that arch. And we will drag this yellow down a little bit into the lower part of the dome, as I'm doing now. I'm also going to whiten this line of the oval, going over it and making it glow, making it really have a white and bright appearance. In a way, what we're doing is we're pushing the back part of the jellyfish further back in the scene and bringing the front edge of the jellyfish body towards us by making it brighter and more white. Now we're going to come in with a purple POSCA marker, and we're going to add in this ever so much in the central part of the dome. We don't want to overdo it and erase our bright, lovely colors. So that's about all we'll do there with the purple. And next we'll come in and add purple in the body opening of the jellyfish. We're going to deepen this shadow and make it more of a cavity by adding the purple. Alright, so now we're going to use a yellow POSCA marker, and we're going to do the extra fun part of this drawing, which is adding in the tentacles. And we want the tentacles to be very free, very loose. Some can be a bit shorter, as you've seen. I've done the outer ones. In other words, the ones on the edge of the tentacle area are a bit looser, shorter, and then the ones towards the center are longer. And I'm going to layer this yellow on, get it thicker and more solid yellow towards the center of the tentacle column. We can also have a few tentacles going out in another direction. We don't want them all to be contained to one central column or section. We want them to be free and flowing in the water. So we will do this for both of our jellyfish. And one thing to note is that we want the tentacles to reach all the way up to the upper part of the cavity or the opening of the jellyfish's dome, as you can see right now. And in a moment I will go back and add in more yellow to the left-hand side jellyfish, extending those tentacles to the very top of the opening. In this segment, we're going to use several colors that we've already used to add more layers to the tentacles to make them colorful and be in a way similar to the body of the jellyfish. So we'll start out with our orange POSCA marker, and we're going to go over the same area of tentacles that we added in the previous video with the yellow. Now we don't want to cover up the yellow all the way. We just want to add enough orange to blend it in and get that color down and mixed in with the yellow. We will use a yellow Posca marker now to finish the tentacles, and we will work on the central part of the tentacle column. And what we will do is add a nice thick amount of yellow in here. We're not going to try to cover up the other colors of the tentacles all the way. We just want to have a nice amount of yellow in the central part of the tentacles in order to make them look like they're glowing. We can also add in a few extra tentacles with the yellow that are flowing out and free. You can see I'm really thickening it up right in that central location. We're now going to come in with a white Posca marker and make these tentacles really glow. We'll do this by adding in a thin streak of white to the center of that column, similar to how we did the yellow just a minute ago, but adding just a thin streak right in that central area. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this class and were able to learn something from it. Please feel free to post a picture of your drawing so that all of us can see what you did. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to start a discussion below this video, and I will be happy to answer your questions. If you would like to support me, please check out my website at www.andysartitude.com, and feel free to visit me on Instagram and Facebook, where you can see daily updates of my artwork at Andy's Artitude. Stick around here and follow me, because in the coming weeks I will be uploading more classes. That's been it for now. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next class.